Hi guys, today we are talking about maintaining your sex life after having children. And today my goodly friend is on the spot because as you know, out of the two of us, she's the one right now with her bundle of joy. And so she's going to tell me how she is maintaining it right now. And then I, in turn, will tell her some tips
I know,
on
right?
maintaining her sex life. So Nataki, my
Yes.
first question is, how has sex life been since you've had Aidan? I mean, he's now 4.
Yes.
And so I want to know if there's anything that has changed in your body and your sex life or even sex in general. I mean, does it feel the same after having kids? I mean, enlighten me because you're new. Yes.
So as you mentioned, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
Aidan, well, more than 4. But Aidan is 4. And so, trust me, there has been ups and downs. There have been challenges over the years. Right now, at present, things are better.
Yeah.
And I say better because in the beginning, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what to describe it as. Sex was...
Listen, you need to explain it to the people there because maybe somebody out there wonder if I them alone I go through this. Talk up the things them real and true. What are the things that you went through?
Right. So there was a point where sex was non-existent for me after having my son. And that was because I now know, because at the time when I was experiencing a lot of these things, I did not know the reason.
Yeah.
I now know that I was having some hormonal issues. I was also having some negative side effect to birth control. So after giving birth and everything, of course, you don't want to go getting another one right away. So I went on some, the injection that they give right away. That was the easiest solution for me at the time. And so I started doing that. And, you know, I thought everything was okay. Most of the side effects that they inform you about, I didn't have any of those issues. And so I thought, okay, it was fine. You know, I didn't even start gaining weight like what most persons would have mentioned right away. But eventually that started happening. What I was experiencing, though, was intense burning in the vagina that prevented me from having sex any at all. My
Right.
husband could not touch me.
So stick a pin right there. Because I don't know why in the back of my head, I believe that after giving birth, whether through the vagina or C-section, woman just need time. I don't know why in the back of my
Yeah,
head.
I agree. Yes, I definitely agree with that.
Especially for the persons who did the vaginal
Right.
birth, right? I believe that me just feel like down there sore.
It needs some time for repair.
I just feel like down there sore. And maybe I can say this from the standpoint of after you see a period, it's sore.
Right.
So imagine having something come out of that.
A big old thing.
A big old thing. And maybe you get a little tear here and
Right.
there. I just believe me need 2 years.
No, girl. Mm-mm. That's
Right?
way
I
too
don't know
much.
why that in the back of my head like
All right. So different things work for different people.
Right.
Right. You think you need 2 years, but I don't think nobody need 2 years.
Okay.
But some people may need. Some people can work with, you know, a month or a little over a month, 2 months. It depends, because it depends on the discussion too between the partners. Because if the woman, based on what she's experiencing and feeling, feels like she needs a little bit more time, she might need to say to her husband, and they might need to discuss it and whatever, and he might need to say to her, listen, can't wait so long, because especially depending on how long it's been since you guys have had sex, sometimes it can be a ticklish issue. For me, it was like the first time having sex after giving birth was like about 6 weeks after. My experience with that,
and that's based on doctor's clearance and stuff like that.
I mean, me never did get no time to ask the doctor because I was away from my husband for months before that. And for me, too, let me just mention that I had a C-section. I did not do a vaginal birth. And so I didn't have the tearing down there and everything like that. But I was nervous. I was a little bit scared because, I mean, you know, the court and you were wondering what would happen and whatever. But I was away from my husband for so long, and then he never really give me time to explain to him, so I'm never quite ready.
So here's the other question. The sexual feelings that you would get normally before having sex, you didn't have that.
I didn't have
because
it.
I can't see myself have that.
Personally, I don't know. I believe that some women may have the feeling,
Yeah, man.
but for me personally, I did not have it. I did not have it. Even as I said, I had sex with my husband about 6 weeks after, but that was more because he was having, you know, overwhelming urge, and of course, you know, help him to satisfy that urge. But for me personally, I was not having the feeling, and I did not have the feeling for a very long time. And when I started realizing that it was prolonging, I realized that, you know, there were issues, and that's how I discovered that I was having some hormonal imbalance, if you want to call it that. So yeah, that was a challenge for
All
me.
right. Based on this article, it says that most parents knows that having less sex is part of the life with a
They
new
better
baby.
know. So if you didn't know before, know now.
Right? They also know that when your children are a bit older, when you are less tired and when you have more opportunity to be intimate, you can look forward to having a better sex life.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, I do. I do, because then, you know, battled with the challenge of medical issues that was, you know, causing a problem for my relationship, sexually and otherwise. Having a newborn that needs so much of your attention, that makes you so tired, and dealing with whatever else you have in your life, trust me, it can be a challenge. As Aidan got older, though, and as, you know, some other little things smoothed out, it took some time, because sometimes, you know, when things become awkward or you're not doing it for a while, it almost felt like we were out of practice. We became so awkward. Yeah, it was... It became so awkward, and there were points. I remember seeing this video once, and trust me, when I saw it, I laughed so hard because it reminded me so much of my own experience, where the parents were trying to hurry up to go do a little thing before the picking wake up and
I think
start
it was
crying.
Laura doing it.
Right. That was a real thing for me. Trust me. And even now, Aidan is 4. And so, let's say, for example, one evening my husband comes home from work and I'm there and Aidan is asleep. You just want to hurry up and go bust a quickie before him wake up, because it's an evening thing. Not so much like a bedtime and him gone to sleep for the night, but evening, the man come home and you just want to do a thing before the picnic wake up. Yeah, we have to balance it and we have to do them something there. Yeah.
No, not okay. You make me afraid. You make me
Of
afraid.
what? As they said, it's a part of the package.
It's
Prepare
just
for it.
preparing yourself, knowing that your sex life mash up. I joke, people. I'm not. All right.
Not mash up forever.
So my questions are, because I mean, I have a lot of questions where this is concerned. I mean, I am preparing myself for
Right.
things like that, right? Because I don't know how to have sex with one pitney in one room or young baby cross from me in our next room. I just don't know how, and I can't even think about it. But the questions are, after you've had your child, right? And these are for you because no, you can answer. You said that you didn't have much urge. I mean, maybe it never kick in back yet. I mean, you just come out a day.
And as I said, it doesn't always happen like that for everybody.
Right.
I was personally having an
Because I
hormone
mean,
challenge.
you have persons who come out and them
good and they go right back again. Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah,
You have
definitely.
persons who are whatever.
Right.
But for the persons who we're talking about, the persons who probably have challenges, you know, and maybe down there not to feel the way how it used to feel. Because I've heard persons
Definitely, it didn't. There was a point for me immediately where it just felt weird. It just, I don't know how to really explain it, but it felt weird. And mine was not a vaginal birth, so I can just imagine the person who had a vaginal
all right,
birth.
so if you're not alone, miss, I see you. You're not alone, Nataki. It was weird for her as well, right?
Yeah.
So all right, Nataki. So after Aiden start reach 4 months, 5 months now where, I mean, it's easier for him to manage, easier for you to manage him now because him now wake up as frequent as a newborn and whatever. Was it easier then?
First of all,
In the house, wake up. Yeah, you know that.
if you have a child like mine, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, honey, It wasn't until, as I said, for me, I had other challenges coupling with having a newborn, but it wasn't until like probably about, after Aiden was like probably a year, that I would not have so much of a challenge, because then Aiden was the type of child that he needed and still needs so much attention, so it made me give less attention to my husband.
Right.
And so that's another thing that men need to be prepared for.
Right. So that's where I was going now.
Yeah, man. Men, be prepared for this. It can be frustrating. My husband was frustrated at times, and I've heard of other persons who their husbands were frustrated. You guys are used to being just the two of you.
Yeah.
Having sex whenever you want.
Wherever you
want.
For how long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all of that. When my husband, there was a time when my husband, like most men, like to feel up the breast and whatever. I was breastfeeding, breast full of milk. The things that he would want to do with my breast couldn't happen during that period of time because the breast was now for the baby. So that was taken away from him. A lot of my time and attention. A lot of my time and attention was taken away from him and given to the baby. And so he had to try and find a way to adjust to that. And it can be very difficult. So men need to be prepared for that as well. Yeah, it took me some time. It took me some good time to kind of settle into a routine that kept the baby okay.
And the
enough
husband.
To give time to the husband. Yeah.
All right. So now that we see that we have whole heap of challenges. And I mean, if you are different, it's fine. And you can give your solutions if or if you know anything. Please put it down in the comments right now. We know for sure that persons out there are having real issues balancing baby and partner. Let's use partner, not just husband, partner, right?
Right.
I could look on some solutions. Because Nataki, tell me some of the things that you used to do.
All right. So, like I said, you have to so for me, what I had to do is try, because it wasn't easy, to get my son into certain routines. So you have times when I know my child has a weird thing. I don't think everybody's children, our child has this. Whenever it gets down to evening, it becomes overly miserable and agitated, and he starts, even now, he will just start acting out and doing some weird things, and I'll be like, what is wrong with you? You were fine all day. What's wrong with you? I realized that from he was born, he would just cry endlessly when it got to certain time of the evening. So I had to build certain kind of routines with him, and sex and time spending with husband, because of course work and other things were there, would happen after I got the baby to bed and kind of out of the way.
You should put it out of the way.
A lot of my relational things with my husband happened late at night. Yeah, like so midnight hour. Yeah, because that's when everything died down and got a little bit quiet, and I was able to, and you have to learn to balance and juggle as a mother.
Tell me something. Was it becoming a burden, or let's not use the word burden? Was it becoming now a problem where you needed help? Like, me need somebody to tell me how to do this. Was it anywhere there?
Yes, I mean there were points where I got frustrated, and as I said, my husband would have gotten frustrated, and I was concerned that, oh God, me not be what I'm supposed to be as a wife, because I'm busy trying to figure out how to do this mother thing, and the balance wasn't there, and it felt out of whack and all kind of craziness. And so sometimes for me, I had my mother. I've always had my mother with different things, and so I could probably talk to her about it, and I'd talk to you about stuff.
Like I could help her, yes.
Yeah, but even if the person can't help you, at least you have a listening ear. You understand me? But if you have somebody that can give you support and advice, that's very good. Sometimes you have to figure it out. Sometimes you just have to scream and bawl and figure it out as you go.
I mean, this is similar to just balancing sex life with work
With
or
everything
anything.
else.
I guess it's similar. I mean, it might not be the same exact thing, but
Yeah,
it's similar.
because
It's just
a little bit more
balancing
challenging,
your
but
sex
yeah.
life, your relationship with other
Making
things.
a conscious effort.
Conscious effort.
Yeah,
it
man,
is.
you have to, because sometimes, you know what some of us do. For me, as I said, there was a point where I started feeling guilty. I used to apologize to my husband for not, because I knew, I was conscious of the fact that I wasn't doing certain things, and it made me uncomfortable and whatever. Some people like, them just no business.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I'm dealing with this, and you lucky. Me, I deal with this, and whatever. No, you can't treat it like that.
Yeah.
It's not okay. And yes, I know it can be very challenging as a new mother. And the thing about it is you and your husband supposed to be doing, or your partner, supposed to be trying to do this parenting thing together. And so everything else that you share is together. So,
and the truth is,
yeah.
the men can't just sit around and expect, oh, you're supposed to be a mother and a wife too and not assist. Because, I mean, when you
Yeah, that's
realize
what I'm
that,
saying.
okay, like you had to find a routine for Aiden, it makes sex easier when you take some of the
Exactly.
baby burden off me and you don't just have it
Exactly.
on just the mother because, oh, you're the mother, you're breastfeed alone or whatever. Like maybe today you can say, no, babe, give me, you try, you know, put him to bed
Right.
today. It makes sex becomes easier. No, I want to
Exactly.
give you sex because...
And then I'm not as tired,
Yeah.
because after doing all of that with the baby and whatever, I'm exhausted. Where do I get energy and strength to be paying you any kind of attention?
Right, that's
You
true. So I
understand
guess
me?
that's the first solution is helping out in the situation. You can't just sit around and expect, okay, when she is done with the baby, she'll come to me. No. How about helping her with the baby so it kind of hasten the time when she can
Exactly,
come
and
to you?
try to be understanding and
Yeah.
considerate. Try
Definitely.
to realize that, okay, because sometimes what happens with a lot of men, they sit quietly with their gross, you know, in the
Yeah.
back of their mind, and them vex and them miserable and whatever, and them not get satisfied and them there whatever. Meanwhile, you over there so are dead under pressure. They pay you no attention. They're not understanding to what is happening, and then it causes a breakdown in the. A lot
Yeah.
of people, after having children, I know of people who the relationship just
Went
never,
downhill, yeah.
it never repaired, you know, never was
It's
the same
also
again.
important to note that during those times, it's the time when you need to tell your wife that she's doing a good job too, because I mean, complimenting her will let her know that she's
Right.
not a bad mom, you know, and especially she's a new mom. It's the
Exactly.
first time
First
she's doing
mom,
it, you know.
first time mom,
So
yeah.
you say, you know what, baby, you're doing a great job and whatever. It's just the things that you say that will help make her feel better.
And then in the same way, though you are talking to her about the good job that she's doing as a mother, it's similar to complimenting her as a woman.
Yes.
And that in and of itself, you know, causes her to be attracted to you. You're pulling her in right there. You're boosting her in some way or the other mentally. And
Yes.
you know, because remember, women like they're
They're drawn to
changed
what
and
they hear,
adjusted to
yes.
things that they
Yeah.
hear. So if you're, you know, affirming her and whatever, you're pulling her into you.
Yeah. The next thing we can look at is planning your date night still. So not
Yeah.
because a baby is now in place means that everything just, Lord, me can't go nowhere. If grandma is around, if you have somebody around who is able and capable of keeping the baby, of course, you know, you have your little date night still not because
Yeah.
my breast them a leak means I can't go out go eat dinner. I can put something night and you know.
They have disposable as
yes,
well as
man.
reusable breast pads.
And moms, for the moms out there who are very cognizant of your body.
Yeah.
And you know that, oh my God, I have fat here now and my belly is not as well. But like, come on, you're a new mom.
It's
Your
okay.
body is not the same. It is okay. Dress up, put on your dress, put on your makeup,
Look
and you go
cute,
out same
feel
way.
good.
Even if your breasts are leak, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Know that your baby is home waiting for you. Please stop looking at
Yeah.
yourself as being,
And then a lot of us as mom, we have to go back to work.
yeah.
So in the same way you go back to work, go back to the rest of your life.
Yeah,
go back
man.
to dating your husband. Go back to dating your partner. Do some of the similar things that you would do. Everything don't have to stop.
Definitely. Right? We spoke about finding a childcare arrangement for your kids.
Right.
I mean, if you have more than one kids,
It's
I
good to
mean,
have
you
that
can.
support.
I always say that it's always good to have family time, you, your husband, and your kids.
Right.
Because it's still you know, it still massage that emotional part of the relationship that you need, you know, the bonding with your kids and whatever. It's great. You don't always have to be alone with your husband. I mean, you, your kids and your husband can always go places and you feel good same
Right.
way, you understand?
Yes.
And then you have a time when you just take away from the kids and
it's
just you and
the
your
two of
husband
you.
gone about.
Right.
Great
Yeah, you have to
again.
make time for that. You have to, because guess what? If you don't, you see, what was easy for you before children came into the picture is gonna be way harder now.
Yeah.
And the more time you spend not doing certain things, not bonding emotionally and otherwise, it's the more difficult your relationship will become. And as I said, a lot of times, that's where the breakdown starts for a lot of couples, and they never repair.
Right. The other one that we're going to look at, I mean, it's a very hard one, but let's see what they're saying. It says, don't let the kids sleep in your bed. Right? And this is a ticklish one for a lot of moms because, I mean, who wants to get out of bed to your room to look about it? I mean, it's easier to have you right here. And because I know put it in my bed, it's hard for you to get out of my bed. No,
Right,
it
so I
says...
failed miserably with that one. I failed, and it's not just because, as I said, me no know, my picking it is just different. Me no know how to explain it. It just did different. I made it just have to do what me have to do to survive.
Do I gotta do to survive? But let's see what these people say. It said it might be easy. It might be an easy routine to get into.
Yeah,
And an
definitely.
even more difficult one to
get
break.
out of. Yeah.
But co-sleeping can widen the gap between you and your partner.
That's
Both
true.
in bed and beyond. And I can believe that, and I'm not yet a parent. Right? Because when my husband put the pillow between me and him sometime, because me start tell him, say, babe, if you sleep on me all night, you're going to crush me and me go dead. Him start sleep on the pillow them. I know the pillow I come between me and my husband relationship. Because him feel like him have to hug up on something tight and nice time, and because him going to suffocate me.
What is you? Are you telling
You
him
see what
to
me
suffocate
say?
yourself?
So me a fight with one pillar and you a fight with Aidan. So me can understand what the people must say right here, so. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
They're
true. If you
saying
can avoid it,
allowing-
don't start.
Allowing children to sleep in your marital bed is one of the fastest way to put out the romance flame between your married partners. Right? Couples can make their bed a no kids zone while still being inviting, warm and honest parents. I don't know what you're going to do with Aiden.
Yeah, that is definitely a challenge for me. As I said, there were a lot of things happening when Aiden was born. There were so many things happening, and for me, I of course, you heard all about these things. Don't put the child in the bed and whatever. And so I tried, but as I say, I failed miserably, and I just had to do what I had to do to survive.
It was
And
not a
then
place where if
undoing-
you don't have him in the bed, you won't
I
sleep.
won't sleep. Right.
So I could understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm saying to survive. In order for me not to go totally mad, I just had to do it. There were times when I had to sleep with the child on my chest because that's the only way he would sleep, and I mean literally the only way. And so there were a lot of challenges, and so I know different situations apply to different people. If you can avoid it, don't start in the first place because it's very hard to break.
Yeah.
Aidan is this type of child. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to, when he gets a little older, I might have to get him into therapy because he does not want to be alone at all. And so even now, in my bed is where he wants to stay. His bed, his room, him have a bed, him have a room, and he does not want to stay there. And so it is a real challenge. It's
a fight,
very
yeah.
hard to break. And so if you can, don't start it. Don't start it in the first
So
place.
would you agree that even
Yes.
though you might not know off the bat that, listen, maybe this really contributed to...
Yes, it
whatever.
does. I can say that I know that. So then, for example, as things improved with my body and stuff, and sex started happening again, if the child is sleeping in your bed and sex is supposed to happen, then there were times when it was kind of I think it was probably kind of a turn off for my husband. Him being in the bed, the child's in the bed. I don't want to do nothing with the child in bed.
Yeah. Understood.
So yeah, it definitely can cause issues, definitely.
Guys, don't put the baby in the bed if you don't have
Don't.
to. All right, so the last one, well, not the last one. The other one is surprising your partner now and then. Never
Yeah.
stop. If you used to be the person who is, just out of the blues, just pop up and surprise your partner with something, it's the same thing. You still want your partner to know that I love you, you know, during
It's
all
still
of this
relationship
time when
building
you're married.
activities.
Yeah, of course.
So
It
you
doesn't
wanna
stop.
keep doing that.
Relationship doesn't stop when we have kids.
Mark,
It doesn't
it
stop.
becomes challenging, as I said, because before it was just the two of you, and you know, you guys dealt with work and whatever other activities that you had to occupy your time. Now you have a child, and most of the time, you know, you have to try and ensure that the child is okay and whatever. And so it's a difficult, but it can become a difficult balance to do that with the child and also be focused on relationship.
Yeah.
But eventually, it might take you some time, but eventually you need to work at it until you get it right. Yeah.
Definitely. And the last one we're going to look at for this segment is make time for yourself. Always.
Yes.
Always. Because at the end of the day, even though you are a team, you still need time for yourself. Start with feeling good about yourself. We spoke about how some mothers might feel like, oh no, I'm fat and my belly not going, like Nataki, after 4 years, see her belly. Every day that is fear cry, our belly now go down and whatever, and you feel like say you can't wear certain clothes again and you don't look like you used to look 2, 5, 10 years ago and whatever. Like, loving yourself, just love yourself no matter what, right?
Yeah, and spend time to take care of yourself, because then you see, if you are, once you have a child, it takes a lot out of you to be taking care of them. And first of all, remember this thing what I always say, your husband or your partner, women, them, your first pick me. They
true.
are your first.
It's true.
And so you have to be taking care of them. You have to be taking care of the children.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have time to take care of yourself. But you are no use to anybody if you are not taken care of. So you have to spend time taking care of you in order to be useful and of any value to anybody else.
Yeah. And remember, the things that you used to do and love, you still can do them.
Yeah, life
you know?
don't over. Your life didn't end. You just added
I'm
someone
a
to your
mom. I can't
life.
do this anymore. Like,
really?
come on. If it's something that you used to love doing, I mean, there's no...
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you become a parent, there are certain things that you might want to reduce or
cut out.
eliminate
Yeah.
because they probably weren't good for you in the first place. But your whole life doesn't completely change, and life don't over and done just because you became a mom.
Yeah.
No. Otherwise, why the hell would we do it?
All right, guys. If you have any advice for Nataki and other people and me,
Right.
keep going around it. I mean, let us know. How did you maintain your sex life after having kids? You know, I mean, comment down below. Let us know. People need to know, because a lot of persons, truth is, you know, postpartum depression is real.
Oh, my
And a lot of persons are going through that and they don't know how to deal with, you know, whatever. So if you
I did.
found a way to get through it, and or is going through something and you need help, comment below. We will try and, you know, address those comments, and you know, maybe we can talk
Right.
about it in more details soon.
Yeah, because you know, if you know, sometimes this topic can spark something
Another
new
one.
and whatever. So you know, we want to hear from you.
Right.
If something popped into your head and you're wondering why they never said this or what, you know,
Right.
make a comment.
Say it below, right?
Yeah.
If you're here for the very first time, thank you for being here, and please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Remember that this video is also available in all podcast platforms, Apple, Pocket Cast, all of them, you name it, we're there. Guys, remember that when you like the video, it helps the algorithm so that other persons can see the video. So please go ahead, like it right now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.